Happy Sunday, May 10th, everyone. Game streaming. Some people really hate it, some people love it. Personally, I am a very early adopter, as I was playing since the times of OnLive, and I do think that over time, the technology is destined to grow and improve. If you're curious about it, but never had the chance to try it, or simply you don't know which service you should go for, well, you're in for a treat. We have put together a comparison between PlayStation Now, Google Stadia, Nvidia's GeForce Now, and Shadow Tech. We have tried them all and explained what they are and how they are slightly different from one another. Of course, any questions, please feel free to leave us a comment down below. Who's game streaming for? Why would you want to stream your games instead of purchasing a console?
Yeah, so a console or a computer, right?
Or a computer, yeah.
Let's say purchasing hardware, right?
Yeah.
Well, in case maybe you're an occasional player, that's a perfect fit for occasional players. Like for example, I have, let's say, I've learned to say I've started all the game streaming applications since the lockdown started. So I found it very, very, very useful. When the lockdown ends, I am not sure if I can keep playing like the same amount as I'm playing. Also, probably like for people who want to try games, you know, you don't just want to buy one and play. You just want to play around with some.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course, depends on the platform you're streaming. Okay. And so if you have, for example, a very like bad hardware, a computer, let's think about computer. If you have a bad hardware and you want to play like new games, there are some options that allow you to play new games in bad hardware. Okay, you have to have, of course, an internet connection that works fine. So I think that this fits generally. Okay, also for people that do not really maybe care about playing the like latest and greatest. Okay, they don't want maybe to just as soon as something is out they buy it because they can't just resist. I mean, there are those people and I understand them, but there are also people that I've never played, you know, well, The Last of Us, for example, or I never played Uncharted. Well, I think they are very, 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 very fun to play, also with years and years of distance. Okay. So I think that game streaming is, for now, addresses these needs. But I also think that in the future, it might address all the needs with different commercial models or licensing models, let's call it the way you want. So I personally work in software world, okay, for industries and for big enterprises. And I think that what happened for these big enterprises, so renting hardware to big cloud players, will happen for everything, also for gaming. Okay, of course, the better it gets with the network, the best, of course. But I think in 10 years from now, my guess is that everyone will be streaming or buy and stream, just stream packages. There will be several ways of buying games or just buying packages of games and you can just stream them. This is my guess, of course.
Yeah, I think it's valid.
I agree, I mean, with your view. Rick, what do you think, as in, obviously we heard Daniele, he's not interested, so he's not interested in buying a console, he's not interested in being able to purchase a game, say, I'm just going to bring the example of Red Dead Redemption 2, was the first example I could come up with, but he's not interested in playing Red Dead Redemption 2 right now.
Yeah.
Although some of the streaming services offer that, we'll see that in a minute, but he just wants to play. He's happy to play. He's happy to make some compromises. As a PlayStation 4 owner, Rick, what do you think? Like, you know, game streaming appeal to you?
I did and I didn't. So for me, depending on the platform, it didn't like. So when I like, for instance, I have a PlayStation 4. I found that PlayStation Now, because I originally got PlayStation Now for Monkey Island. When we did the Monkey Island, I that's what I wanted it for. But then as I went and sort of did my research on it, I was like, okay, cool. There is so much And there are games from the past where I thought, yeah, I don't really want to buy them, and I can't remember which ones there are. There are literally hundreds of games on there, but I didn't want to necessarily go out and buy them, or even get, take up my memory buying them. And that's a nice feature of the PlayStation, that you can download or stream it. And so for me, that was great. But then I did struggle with, for instance, the G-Tech one. That was a hard.
Oh, the GeForce,
GeForce, not G-Tech, Shadow Tech and GeForce. Yeah. I struggled with that one because, but then again, Danny made a really good point. Is that depending on your hardware as well, like what you've got, that can affect, I think. So I haven't got the most powerful Mac, and my whole process struggles. So GeForce was I'm stuck.
That combo, G-Tech and GeForce and Shadow Tech.
It should be easy to remember GeForce. But it was good. Like it was interesting, like, concept to play that. But my Mac struggled, and then Shadow Tech, my Mac just was like, no, we don't want to do this. But for me as a gamer, I'm more of I want to just get in and play. I don't like the idea of waiting in a line. I just want to, like, if I don't play as often as I probably just get in and play an hour.
Yeah.
Not even that sometimes. So, So the PlayStation Now is great because I could just hop on, boop, up it comes. I've got all these games, great. But the others, I haven't talked about Stadia. I'll leave it until we talk about Stadia. But the others were less appealing to me as a gamer. Okay. It didn't make me want to go, I could definitely sign up to GeForce.
So you wouldn't trade your future PlayStation 5 for, say, Stadia or Shadow Tech or GeForce Now?
No, but I do agree with what you said. I do think it's going to go this way. I think streaming a game will be the future. I do. I'll just have to get with the times.
Dave, what do you think? Like, are you trading your PlayStation for a streaming service anytime soon?
I'm going to sound like such a Luddite right now. I'm not. I'm absolutely not. I mean, this whole thing, I'm still not keen for this whole digital download of games, man. I like holding I like the disc.
Physical copy.
For me, there's nothing quite, I mean, this is a completely different thing, but for me, there's nothing quite like that feeling of, you get it out the plastic.
Do you know what? I nearly took the mick out of you then, and then I realised in my background there is a comic book shelf that everyone's going digital with comics, and I'm like, no, I want to smell the paper, man.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's it. I agree.
I mean, I've got a Kindle and I hate myself for that. But streaming. So GeForce, I've got to say, really did like it.
You liked it?
I did. Okay. I did. It's my laptop's 3 years old now, and it's starting to chug along a bit with stuff.
So imagine what mine's like.
Yeah, honestly, I'm impressed yours didn't immediately explode. So, went on GeForce, tried with Mountain Blade, as you've heard me playing before, and tried Destiny 2 as well, just to see how I handled the different things. And on a general level, I liked it. I liked the gaming experience. However, there is a giant but here. I did not at all like this whole waiting in line thing. It was, I know there's, I think they call it the founder package, where you can skip all the queues, but the idea of, I want to go in and if we weren't in lockdown, I'd be getting home in about half an hour or something like that. So prime gaming time. I would have to sit there and wait for however many people. I was trying in the middle of the day and there was something like 30 people ahead of me.
Hang on a second. Was that, we're going to talk about more in details when we talk about GeForce Now, but was that, what were you not using the Founders Package?
No, so I actually couldn't access through yours, so I had to access through mine.
All right, so you created yourself.
Oh, I already had one because I've got GeForce on my laptop anyway. So you've got to.
Okay.
Which is good actually, because that means that you have the Founders Package experience and I have the basic
package experience. Yes.
Yeah.
I was able to snatch the Founders Package for cheap when it was available.
Nice.
Well done.
Yeah. I mean, on the Founders Package, I imagine it'd be amazing. On basic package, I wouldn't.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I shall say, let's compare them all. So
Let's do it.
I created this
Right.
lovely table over here.
That's so talented.
Right.
So gorgeous.
I bet you like my choice of fonts.
Yeah, fonts, yes, maybe colors, but you could be better.
Right? So, okay, we've got namely 4 main streaming services, right? We've got PlayStation Now, Nvidia GeForce Now, Google Stadia, and Shadow Tech. And I'll say, what are the main differences here? Because the thing is, so PlayStation Now, what is PS Now? How is it different from the rest of them?
It's just it's vast. It's basically a library. I was scrolling through. There was just every game I could think of.
Yeah.
I thought, I think I wanted to play that in the past. I'd see it, and I thought it was really simple. I thought it was really simple. Really, they just said, PlayStation 1 games, PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 3 games, and there's some really good titles on there. They're really up-to-date titles as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also, I'll say by far, if you take the amount of money that you spend for PS Now, maybe also by month or by year because they have excellent offers, and you divide it by the amount of games that are there, I mean, they're basically really giving the games away. I mean,
Yeah.
and not to forget that it's the only platform where there are PS exclusives. I mean, this is come on, I can play Control, like the one is playing Lorenzo now. I can play Horizon Zero Dawn, I can play Uncharted. I mean, it's just what? I mean, there is. It's actually my favorite one. It's your favorite one as well, Rick, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, by far. I mean, for me as well.
It made me. Oh God, Google Now, PlayStation Now. Never drink before you come on live television. Like the PlayStation Now. Just say I went to the shop. I'm kind of like Dave. Some part of me does kind of like having a physical copy of a game. If I was to go out and get Spider-Man, like right now, which I really enjoyed. I've played Spider-Man. I thought it was great. That's on there. $8.99, and then I've also got Horizon Zero Dawn. I've got both those games physically that cost me about probably the best part of £60, let's say, to buy. And I pay $8.99 for a PlayStation Now account. I've got two games on there that I can play for $8.99. It's so unbelievable.
Rick, you know what game you should play?
Tell me, Lorenzo.
This one.
Oh, Control.
It's actually. I'm getting nostalgic while I see the
You know, when I was shooting this footage and I had play the game, I was like, shit, I missed this so much.
Yeah. I'm feeling the same now.
Lorenzo, there was a part of me then that was really hoping you were going to tell Rick to play Red Dead Redemption 2.
But that's not on PS Now. Rick, you should be playing Red Dead Redemption 2. You should be playing.
You'd love it. You'd love it. Everyone else does. Yeah.
The world loves Red Dead Redemption.
Hang on a second. Every other normal person does.
Yeah, but for me, it's. I'm not going to swear.
Okay. Well, right now,
I'm just leaving.
As you guys have pointed out, I'm playing this on a PC, by the way. So this was PS Now on a PC, so not in a console. As you noticed, as Daniela pointed out, I'm playing on an Xbox controller, which is possible if you play PS Now on a PC. Obviously, it's not possible if you play PS Now in a PlayStation.
I tried both.
Yeah. By the way, for those of you who are interested, if you look at the controller and you look at the game, this is actually shot in a way to let you observe how much delay there was. Because, some people take into account the delay that game streaming has. So for those of you who really would like to take this footage and slow it down to the max and see how much delay there was between me hitting the buttons and the game responding. So back to our table. So back to our table again. Now the main thing with the comparison, right? So as we said, PS Now, you've got a selection of games. It's like literally 800 of them, plus some games rotate, so you'll have some, gems such as Control. Uncharted 4 was there recently, God of War was there. Those are gonna be there just for a limited time.
Yeah.
Whereas then you have other games that are there all the time, namely Last of Us. It's the cheapest. This service is the cheapest out of them all, and it doesn't reflect on this table because you're seeing the price per month. However, let me tell you that if you're paying for a PS Now in advance for a whole year, you're basically paying less than what Nvidia GeForce Now costs.
Yeah.
Because you'd be paying, if you're in England, you'd be paying about £4.16, I think it was, per month.
Yeah, it's so cheap. It's so cheap.
Super cheap, right?
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
There is a free trial, so you've got 1 week free trial if you want to sign up. And now the main thing that doesn't have, in comparison with all of the other service, is an e-store, meaning you cannot buy games. All you can play is what's in there. So you cannot buy a game and then have it there. So you could not buy Uncharted 4, for example, or Control and have it there all the time. So if you're interested in that type of service, PS Now is not for you. Now,
next. I think that next step for Sony, sorry to interrupt, next step for Sony is integrate like PlayStation Network account and all purchasing and e-store with PlayStation Now. It's just like two different packages. Who cares, right? You can stream. I mean, and not saying that it happens overnight, of course, but it's there. I mean, it's just normal.
First comment, by the way, from Twitch. I'd constantly worry my connection is not good enough for streaming. I guess you will need super fast broadband, and that's usually rather expensive.
Or wired up, you'd have to do, wouldn't you?
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I noticed that as long as you can stream a YouTube video without any lag, without any problems, honestly, for PS Now, because it's not high definition or 4K, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So for PS Now, really, I mean, I swear I did it with my phone.
Oh,
I gathered my phone and I played PS Now. Okay, so it's just for PS Now. Really, for me, it's like lowest requirement ever.
Yeah, I didn't struggle with it. It's fine.
Yeah. What I would love is obviously a better service, full HD potentially. So I don't care about 4K, obviously 4K, but full HD would be nice. And I'd love this feature. Say I have a PS Now subscription, and say I have Uncharted 4, as in I own it. Then wouldn't it be good if you gave me, that I own the game, the opportunity to play that game on PS Now? Am I making sense? Like, say I'm going.
That's the next step. Next step for me. Like, integrate the two platforms. It's like no-brainer.
Yeah. Google Stadia. 2 months for free on Google Stadia. Ladies and gentlemen, all you need is a Google account. And this is what I love about Google Stadia. I'm gonna obviously hear your opinion, guys, but this is what I love about Google Stadia. The fact that you can just open a Chrome browser, go into a website, log in into Google Stadia, launch your game, and you're playing. Nothing to be downloaded.
Yeah. That was the appeal. I didn't mind Google Stadia at all. Because when that was the first one I tried. So apart from PlayStation Now, but out of the other three, this is the first one I tried, and I was actually impressed with how seamless it was. I literally just plugged my controller in, and I was in. Again, it probably is an issue with my Mac. When I played Destiny, and I played that Steam heist thing that you just had up on the screen.
Okay.
So I played two different games. When it was a bigger game like Destiny, it seemed to like it would have moments where it would just really lag. It would be really slow. Like I'd be shooting in one direction, the next minute I'd be like over there shooting, and I didn't know why. But then when I played something a little bit less, that was like a little like just a side-scrolling game, it was fine. It was completely fine. But the simplicity of Stadia was something that was really good, I thought.
I think the simple, like the plug and play feel that Stadia has is excellent.
Exactly. That's what I love about Stadia. And I think, you know, I'm starting to think that Stadia lags so much. Only purely because they're trying to achieve 4K. Obviously, the more you stream, the more data you stream, the more this is gonna be affected.
Yeah, I mean, the more the network gets sort of clogged and can't keep up with the data speed. Yeah.
If I reckon if Stadia left the 4K and did full HD instead, I reckon Stadia would work so much better. And on that topic,
quite possibly,
right? And on that topic, by the way, Stadia, at some point, we don't know when, but at some point they will launch a free sort of like Stadia service. So the difference between the Pro and the free services is that the free services doesn't achieve 4K, it's just full HD, but once again, for 99.9% of people, that would be okay. Right, they don't care about 4K.
Totally, yeah.
And then obviously there's no other free games included right now. Stadia doesn't have many games for free in their Pro subscription included. Actually, I'm gonna bring up the charts, the comparison chart again. Google Stadia, right? If you were to pay monthly, then we're talking about the same price point as PS Now.
Yeah.
Games included, if you have a Pro subscription, obviously these prices are referred to the Pro subscription. Games included are Destiny 2, PUBG, PlayerUnknown, as well as some other games. I honestly cannot, from the top of my head, remember. It was like that Stadia exclusive, I think it's called Guild, something like along those lines.
Oh yeah, it's like a horror game.
Yeah, it's like a horror game, which is supposed to be actually quite good.
It did look alright. I actually thought about playing that, but I wanted to see how Destiny 2 worked.
Yeah. So very, very few free games. It does have an e-store, so you can purchase games. There are some bangers in there. You've got Assassin's Creed. You've got a lot of stuff from Ubisoft, not just Assassin's Creed. You've got Red Dead Redemption 2. You've got the Tomb Raiders. You've got Mortal Kombat X. And to be honest with you, EA has also announced that they're going to launch games for Stadia, so the next FIFAs, Madden, all of that will be on Stadia, as well as Jedi Fallen Order. And I expect this to improve, as I expect more and more developers to pitch in. Doom Eternal, by the way, so from Bethesda is also there. So I think the catalog will increase. I wouldn't know why someone wouldn't sign up for that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth trying. It's definitely worth trying.
Yeah,
You don't need to download anything.
Yeah, I was surprised at that.
Well, I've got to say, as we were just saying, I love the simplicity of it. You load up, you just go on Chrome, get it sorted, and you're on. It's everything I wanted from other streaming services that I didn't get. It's that beautiful simplicity of it.
Yeah. I agree. I was really shocked at how simple it was. Plug in and play. That's perfect for how I would like to stream. Needs better games.
Okay. Danny?
Yeah. I mean, I can just echo what they said again. I mean, honestly, if I have to compare it to PlayStation Now, I go for PlayStation Now, like directly. I mean, if we have to really compare them, right?
Bro, okay. Hang on a second. I'm gonna stop your horses. From what I'm understanding here, there's a pattern emerging, and I think you and Rick are kind of on the same page. So you guys are prioritizing a service which is kind of like a Netflix style of games, right? I pay a subscription fee monthly, and I have a catalog of games that I can play.
Whereas it's just like Netflix, Spotify, anything will move towards that commercial model or that technological model, and that's what I said at the beginning. Okay, I also love to unpack CDs, okay, back in the day, or VHS. I agree with that. And still, for some, I mean, I frequently give as presents to my friends, like very excellent movies in DVDs and this stuff. So this thing will stay totally, okay, or very nice video games and so on. But generally speaking, like for like 90% of the market, I think it's just like it will happen what's just happened for music and for movies.
Yeah, I do.
It's just a trend. I mean, that's my opinion again.
No, I agree. There's just one thing though. In the brief scenario, and this is we've got very different models, but in the brief scenario, when I think of something replacing console, right? So something that replaces my PlayStation or my Xbox or whatever that case may be, I'm thinking of something like the technology of streaming, so being able to play that game wherever I want, in many devices, blah 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 blah. But I also think of an e-store, so such as a PlayStation, right? So I want to go into the e-store. I want to own Red Dead Redemption 2 because I want to play it this year. Maybe I want to play it again in 3 months, or maybe it just takes me a whole year to play through it.
Which it will.
So, whereas from you two, the idea I'm getting is that you're not interested in buying games. You're interested in streaming what's there already.
Well, I mean, for the options that are provided now by the market, I can say yes, but maybe just for me. But it's just, it's just a matter of tuning what you can stream and for how long. You can have like whatever packages of like, you're a game player, you're a gamer that plays by hour, so we make a price by hour. You're a gamer that does like a full all-you-can-play package. Okay, so pay more and you have everything. You want to buy, 100 hours and you want to spend them whenever you want, just buy them. I mean, it opens up a world of like any kind of options. Yeah. It doesn't need to be like Netflix, where it's just subscription and all you can play. Well, all you can play, or like Spotify. Subscription with different models, right? But all you can play. For gaming, it can be anything, okay? And for now, PS Now is the one that is more similar to that kind of licensing, let's say. Okay. But can be anything, yeah.
So we've got GeForce Now. This is coming from, once again, a huge player, Nvidia. Technically, if we were looking at the monthly price, it's technically the cheapest of them all, although we know that's not true in the case of a PS Now annual subscription. Now, we're moving into foreign territory because I compare Stadia and PS Now as in they're both ad hoc applications, whereas I think Nvidia and Shadow are the most similar to one another. Obviously, Shadow is a full-fat PC, Nvidia is not, but it works in a way that you connect the games you own, right? You connect your Steam account, you connect your Epic account, you connect your whatever account, and you are able to stream the games that you already own. So the price that you're seeing for Nvidia does not include any games. That's just the price for, renting Nvidia's tech, right? So you stream from their servers. There is a caveat here. Can you then play every game you own? Now that is what I thought initially. It's actually not the case. So not every game is in the service. And sorry, I'm gonna have to use my angry face now. Game developers, I'm naming and shaming, Bethesda and Activision. Those services had games available on GeForce Now. When they discovered that the model was you pay Nvidia for the service and then you can play the games that you already own, right? So you already paid for those games. Bethesda and Activision pulled their games from the service because they said that they wanted to make money out of it. But hang on, Bethesda and Activision, you already made money out of me because I had purchased your games on Steam, Epic, or whatever, so you profited already.
You tell him, Lorenzo.
I don't see GeForce Now, unless they change the model, I don't see GeForce Now surviving this, because obviously developers, they've pulled their games because they want to make money, right? They don't care that they don't care that they already charge you for this, because they did, because you are basically using the games that you already own because you paid for those games. They don't care, right? They still want more money, and Nvidia is likely not gonna give it to them. It's not even Nvidia's fault. You can see me, by the way, here playing handsomely.
I was thinking very good driver.
A Alpha Giulia through the streets of, I think it's Miami. This is the crew number 2. Ubisoft is one of those developers that have their games available on GeForce Now. So, I mean, cons of GeForce Now. I wasn't too fond of the service the first time I tried it. Didn't work so well, to be completely honest with you. When I tried it again later, it was way better. Like, as you can see, graphics is amazing. I've got all the specs on Ultra, which for some reason wasn't available to me because they said my connection wasn't fast enough. It actually is. My connection is 350 Mbps.
Wow.
It's very fast. So Nvidia, I don't know what the hell was going on, but it's clearly fixed. So graphics, amazing. Game, once again, I got the controller there. You can see the lag. My only complaint about the service is not many games are available there. Some games are. You've got Witcher, you've got Fortnite, for example, if you wanted a free game, but not every game is available. And it's very clunky to set up, isn't it, Danny?
It's quite clunky, yeah, but I have to say I spent 5 minutes. So maybe with 6 minutes, maybe I would have set it up correctly.
That
But
extra minute would have
still,
made
you know,
difference.
look at Stadia.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
No, that's
Plug in and play.
a big point. Last final service,
Yeah.
Shadow Tech, which is probably Daniela's favorite. Maybe.
Well, no. PS Now is my favorite,
Now is
like by far.
I love Shadow Tech. It is arguably the most expensive. So this is the
Yeah.
entry tier. There are 3 tiers, and the more you pay, the more powerful the PC you get. So yes, on Shadow, you're basically renting a PC. So you can use the PC for, to do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't have to be gaming, but obviously they market it for gaming. So obviously, being a PC, free games, no. As in, there are no free games in a PC, well, unless you discount, I don't know, chess or Minefield.
Which is my favorite. My favorite game.
Well, there you go. But obviously, once again, Steam account, Epic account, whatever account you have, you use with that PC, right? So you own those games. Obviously, no offline playing. There is no free trial. You have some sort of free trial or free option, namely with Nvidia GeForce, you have, as Dave was saying before, the basic account, which gives you an hour a day for free. With Shadow, there is no free trial whatsoever. So it's at your own risk. You'll have to try it out and pay for the first month. It might not even be immediate to set up, by the way. So let's have a look at Shadow. So Shadow, here we go. As you can see, I'm on my Mac, so technically not a gaming PC, and I've got Shadow open. You can see in this window, this is a full fat PC. It's a Windows 10 PC. I can do whatever I want with it, and it's once again, this is online, it's in the cloud, it's not physically present in my Mac. I'm obviously using it to play some games, and I'm playing, in this instance, I think I'll be playing Crash Bandicoot. So a great blast from the past, as the intro says.
Very good.
Very good, right? I like Shadow. This is the game service that I use more than anything else, to be honest with you. So I like Shadow a lot. And it's fairly flexible, right? You can set it up on a number of different devices, and I love the fact that you do have a PC, right? So it comes as a full PC. And I actually think in terms of graphics, not graphics, but like image quality and lagging, as in input delay, I think it's probably the best of them all, to be honest with you. Never had a problem with Shadow. Look at these graphics. This is streaming.
Yeah,
This is
they're very good.
Danny, what do you think? Because you've used Shadow quite a lot.
Yeah, I use Shadow, so I love it. It's good. The good thing is, like, of course, this stands out a little bit because it's a computer, right? If you're playing like just some random games, it's probably not the best option because there is no free trial and it's quite expensive. Okay. But it is expensive because you can do whatever you want in your virtual machine on the cloud. Okay, so you can, for example, if you're maybe graphic designer, you can install whatever your other software than game and use it rather than buying maybe a very
Powerful PC.
powerful hardware. Yes, exactly. So this is the differentiator, right? If you are a person that maybe needs some computational power and you don't want to afford like a physical hardware and maintain it, because of course, if you buy a hardware, you have to maintain it, you have to take like updates, fixes, and so on. You just rent this Shadow computer there and you can do anything. So in this sense,
Good.
it really stands out. But and I really like it for that.
Yeah. I mean,
Looks great.
yeah. I mean, who would want to have Shadow? Obviously, Daniele's example, or someone like me. I have a Mac. So say I don't have a console. Say I don't own a console and I have a Mac. I obviously can't play very many games. So say I don't want to buy a Windows PC, but you know, why not? I can stream a Windows PC through Shadow, and at that point, I can game potentially. I mean, the highest tier with Shadow has got an Nvidia, I think an Nvidia GeForce 2080 Ti, or potentially even the what was the Nvidia Titan kind of thing, like that super expensive graphics card. So potentially allowing you to play any game you want.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, one thing that we have to say, I think, because it's all good, all nice, but Shadow Tech is a relatively small, let's say, company. I think they're growing, of course. I hope for them, and it's available probably in how many countries? 3, 4?
yeah,
Like
not that
France, Holland, UK, maybe Germany.
USA.
Oh, USA. Okay. So, I mean,
yeah.
Okay, we understand that you're growing, but I mean,
I mean, the tech is there.
quick, guys, come on.
The tech is there because, let's face it, I have streamed Shadow, my Shadow account. I've streamed it when I went on holiday in my hometown, which is in Italy. So, and that works really well. So I don't understand why.
Okay.
Maybe they just can't take the user base. Maybe they think they just can't, because you know how they've been struggling. Obviously, this is inside the thing, but how they've been struggling with those upgrades on storage and those upgrades on tiers, right? We've been waiting a year for that. But yeah, I've actually made a list of pros and cons of each service. So I'd say the pros for PS Now is that you pay that fee, you've got 800 games in there, as we said repeatedly, plus some great Sony exclusives that you cannot play anywhere else other than in a PlayStation. It's the cheapest service than all of them if you pay annually. And of course, if you do have a PS4, some games are downloadable. Minimal troubleshooting, pretty much close to plug in and play. Of course, you need to download an app. That's pretty much it. And then Nvidia GeForce. So as we said, use your game you own. It's fairly cheap. It's available on Mac PCs and potentially a TV, although to use it in a TV you need an Nvidia Shield. I mean, I suppose you could just plug in your laptop on your television. Nvidia Shields also allow you to do that. We end up in Google Stadia, no apps whatsoever. This is the thing that I love and we as a collective love the most. There's nothing you need to download. Just open your Chrome browser, boom, you're there. You're playing Destiny. It's available on a broad spectrum of devices, TV, Macs, PCs, some phones, not all phones. We're going to talk about phones in a second. Shadow, which is the last one we took a look at, you own a full fat PC. So this is a PC, it's not just a gaming rig, it's a full fat PC for whatever you want to use it for. It's available on Macs, PCs, Android TV and Android phones. You can play your games from Steam, Epic and all the other stores. I want to open a bit of a thing about phones and shame Apple. Because Apple's not allowing any of this streaming services to be on iOS. Shadow was on iOS. I actually have a Shadow app on my iPhone because I downloaded it when it was on iOS. I discovered it's not anymore. It's not allowed.
They've taken it off.
Yeah. So, pissing me off, Apple.
I'm not a fan of Apple.
Yeah, I am a fan of Apple, but some things are just not good, and this is one of them. PlayStation Now, cons of it. There's no application for Mac users. So say Rick and I wanted to play on our Mac, not possible. No app for phones and tablets, once again, partly not Sony's fault. Apple's not allowing game streaming apps on their phones, but come on Sony, you could look at Android phones, right? It's not in full HD, does not have a physical store, so you cannot purchase games off of it. Stadia, next. choices of game is limited for now. There are some slightly gonna increase, but it's limited for now. The service arguably does not work as well as the other competitors mentioned in this episode. Mainly I think because Stadia is trying to achieve 4K, which, let's face it, it's a big leap. Their store is a little pricier than the alternatives, so namely Steam and Epic and all that. And this is for me the next for Stadia. I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I think the game, like, it was so super easy getting you on, but the lack of games was a bit of a thing for me.
Nvidia GeForce Now, very clunky to set up in my opinion. For example, in my Mac, I cannot copy paste my passwords into my Steam account if I'm opening it from GeForce Now. So I have to manually add my passwords, and my passwords are very long and complex because I use Dashlane. So that is a pain in the ass. Nvidia GeForce Now. Selection of games is very limited. And finally, Shadow requires effort to set up. More expensive than its competitors, but once again, you're getting a full fat PC. And as Daniele pointed out before, it's a small company, very slow at scaling. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you were confused about game streaming, we do hope that this video cleared things up a bit for you. We'd be curious to hear, what do you think about game streaming? Do you like it or not, and why? Tell us in the comment section down below or on Twitter at ScreenPlayers_. We will be live on Thursday, May 14th with a juicy Throwback Thursday episode. We will go back to the PlayStation 2 era. No spoilers. You can see it live on YouTube or on our Twitch account at ScreenPlayers. We hope you have a great week.